Hello everyone, my name is Spicy McPancakes, and today we will be talking about the new Resident Evil chapter in Dead by Daylight. Now you may be asking yourself, why is he covering this chapter so late? I mean, it came out a month ago. Well, as you can see, I've been on a very long break, and I'm ready to talk about how this new chapter is. When they announced that the new chapter would be Resident Evil, I was excited and nervous. As a Resident Evil fan, I knew that a lot of the community loves the 2 and 3 remakes, as well as 7. Personally, I hated the 3 remake, and tolerated 2. I also feared that the chapter would be 7 themed, which would have been a disaster, but luckily the devs said it would be a tribute to the original franchise. 8 was also out of the picture, since the game hadn't even been released, and behavior makes these chapters a year or 2 in advance. And to all the people that were saying, oh my god, it's going to be one of the daughters from Resident Evil Village, I'm happy to say that you were wrong. After speculation among fans and friends, I was led to believe that it was going to be Claire and Leon with Mr. X or Birkin as the killer, a Resident Evil 2 themed chapter. That would be the easiest choice for the devs, being able to use the updated models and not stress about remaking and updating them. As I stated earlier, I was not the biggest fan of the 2 remake, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Again, I know majority of the community loves Resident Evil 2 remake, so I feel like doing that as a chapter would have been their biggest moneymaker. Finally, the big reveal rolls in with the 5th year anniversary stream. As we all know, it was Jill and Leon with Nemesis as the killer. This was honestly the second worst outcome. Jill and Leon have never met nor been in the same game together, yet behavior chose them to be the paired survivors. Nemesis has also never encountered Leon in any other game before. The reveal was embarrassing and a slap in the face to many Resident Evil fans. Now, not all of the community hated this chapter. I mean, some were even calling it the best that it ever was. They ended up giving Leon and Jill legendary skins as Chris and Claire, which again made no sense. Why not just replace Jill with Claire and actually have a duo that makes sense? The only other reason why they wouldn't choose Claire over Jill is for cosmetic reasons, but Jill's new cosmetic was a complete scam since they're literally selling you the default headpiece with Jill's original outfit for $10. And on top of all of that, they made it so that it was a set so you couldn't buy the outfit separately and just not buy the default headpiece. And they knew that this was fucked up because they offered people who bought it, I think within the first 24 hours, a complete refund on the outfit. This chapter was a joke in itself, and the launch was even worse. I don't even want to get into why I dislike the newer game so much, and we'll save those reasons for a separate video. I just wish we got this Jill model, or at least this one, but we got whatever this is, and it's just depressing.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
I wouldn't even be half as mad if we at least got Battlesuit Jill or even Stars Jill. That's enough about the cosmetics. Let's get into gameplay reasons on why this chapter was ridiculously bad. On launch day, there were multiple sets of bugs, and best of all, the game was unplayable on consoles. The new map also wasn't playable on launch, and not even an hour later, they needed to disable the temple because the Nemesis couldn't fit through the openings. Thank God the new map was disabled on launch, because it's honestly the worst map Dead by Daylight has ever released, and it's universally hated by everyone. I know a lot of people are trying to defend this by saying, well, why don't you just take the time to go ahead and play Resident Evil 2, or even play around the map to get familiar with it. Well, first of all, in Resident Evil 2, a lot of the doors that are open are now closed in this new map, and vice versa. A lot of the doors that are closed in the game are now open, so it's very confusing trying to walk into this one room that I was familiar with being open, but now it's closed. It's really just a mess. It's also the biggest map in the game, which Dead by Daylight advertised it to be the biggest map like it was a good thing. Behavior knows that we hate big maps, so honestly it's just really confusing why they would advertise it as being the biggest map like we wanted that. I'm getting off topic since that was gameplay reasons and not anything to do with Resident Evil itself. The map looked beautiful and it was such a creative idea to add that entity twist to it. The perks were solid, and that's about all that was good in this chapter. Another thing I want to talk about is the music. It does not represent Resident Evil in any way. In the background of this whole video, I've been playing some of my favorite tracks from Resident Evil, and I'll let you guys go ahead and take a listen to the music only to kind of see the idea of what I would want for a Resident Evil chapter. From the examples that I played, you can see that they use a lot of piano and opera. It's very intense as well. With Nemesis's music in Dead by Daylight, it just sounds like there's a bunch of blaring instruments and loud noises that don't sync together well. And I'm not trying to hate on the music team, but I don't see how this fits into Resident Evil in any way. Even in the original Resident Evil 3, Nemesis's theme has this heartbeat-like sound, which I feel like they could have incorporated into the main game. But instead, we got the messy, blaring instrument music that doesn't really sound or represent Resident Evil in any way. They could have done so much more with this chapter, and it all feels so lazy. Now, I don't want to blame this all on behavior completely, since I know that Capcom could have influenced the characters that behavior chose. I'm sure majority of the decisions that were made came from Capcom, and behavior needed to work around it and get the contract because they knew that a lot of the fans of Dead by Daylight wanted a Resident Evil chapter. This was probably the best choice for them, since it's probably one of the biggest money makers they've ever had as a chapter. But I do wish that they showed some fan service to the older fans by giving us maybe like I said, a Battlesuit Jill outfit or a STARS outfit, maybe even her Revelations 1 outfit. All those would have sufficed, and we didn't get any of it. We just got a scam and Chris. I also want to mention how they completely forgot about All Kill within a month of its release by revealing that the next chapter would be Resident Evil. I understand that the licensed chapters make them the most money and bring more players to the game, but you can't deny that they showed no pride in All Kill once Resident Evil was out of the box. All of the hype went straight to Resident Evil due to everyone wanting to speculate on who the new characters were going to be. Yes, we did end up getting Trickster changes later on, but I hate to say that it feels like the devs just do not care about anything but making money sometimes. For example, the devs spent almost 2 years changing the maps by improving loops and decreasing the sizes of the maps to make them more balanced and fair. With Resident Evil, they ignored that the community hated large maps, even after literally commenting on the frustration and changing previous realms. In fact, they boasted about RPD being one of their largest maps to date. And yes, I know I talked about this already, but it goes to show that the devs just do not care sometimes and just want their paycheck. I guess that was basically my main topic of this entire video, on how they just did not show any love to the older fans and only the new ones, but even the newer fans just got like a budget version of the remakes. I guess my main point was that they didn't really care about providing for the fans, whether new or old. It hurts my little Resident Evil fanboy heart knowing this entire chapter was basically a sellout. It's about time I end this mini rant. I really hope you all enjoyed and can see where I'm coming from with my points. If you did agree with what I had to say, a like would be very much appreciated. I'm very close to 200 subscribers, so help me reach my goal by sharing and subbing if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.